Hello there, this is Big Benedict. We're playing God of War Ghost of Sparta on God Very Hard difficulty, and this is my no upgrade run for the aforementioned title. We're on Installment the 7th, and facing the... Okay, so to summarize what this video is, I started it off with that slow motion, and it's going to go from this fight, and it's going to conclude with the Vortex fight on the ship. Now, if you struggle on that, I will show you the best place to stand. But for these enemies, it's the only time in the game. Excuse me, we're listening to Siegfried. It's a third opera in Wagner's Ring Cycle, so I don't want to miss the program, but I need to comment over this video. So, as I promised, I did this no damage. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, you didn't no damage, but you're using Theris Bane to expedite the killings. My response to that is, I didn't say I wasn't going to use Theris Bane in the first place, and I have done this no damage without using Theris Bane before. It requires a lot of patience, and it requires you to stay in the best field of view for these enemies, which is over to the right, so that you can have them on the screen every time. It decreases in difficulty exponentially. When you kill one, you'll only face two, and you'll have a much easier time. And then by the time you face one, you pretty much have cleared it. Very simple. But it is, I'm not going to lie, it took me an hour to do this no damage, and I was cursing the fact that I had made that promise the whole time, but I managed to pull through. It's just situations like this here. See, I can see two of them, but I don't know what the other one is doing. And the second I lower my guard, I don't want her to attack me. So, we've got a tough fight, you know, but it's not that bad. Just remember what I said. Do not do the triangle button. Do not do combos. Do not do combos that end in the triangle button. Do not ignite a charge. Don't use magic, provided that you don't want to have them go underground. I don't think at any point they ever came underground for me, except in the beginning when I did the powerhouse move, but I don't think that hit anybody. Another thing to note, especially if you're trying to do this no damage, and it doesn't even matter, the no damage thing was just because I said it. Like right there, you're vulnerable when you're not guarding and you're going over to them, and you only have a small window of opportunity to go over to them before the circle button fades. What happens if you miss is that they will go underground and attack you one time, and you have to get the circle button prompt again. But they have not as much HP. They don't get all their HP back. I'm not sure how much they get back, but it's not that much. But it's a slap. It is a slap in the face. So when it's just one of them, very simple. I would say when there's two of them, it's pretty simple too. But when there's three, boy, I was struggling the first time I played this. Another thing, I wish they made that was on accident, by the way. I did not mean to use that. I don't know what I was doing there. But see the result from doing that? She goes up underground and attacks me. I need to plug my phone in real quick. So, yeah. So this is going to take us all the way up to Atlantis, the sunken city of Atlantis, and I think I said that I deleted the Evil Within from my hard drive, but I've been playing the PS4 version, and I hate having spent money in both places. Trust me, that's what, like $120 for a game that I haven't even got to chapter. I'm on chapter 3, but I'm starting over again since I'm on the PC now, and I would never pay that much money ordinarily, but sometimes when you make mistakes with your finances and you get, it's just a financial mistake. I shouldn't have bought it in two places. I should have just bought it on the PC, but sometimes you don't even know. You're going in without any knowledge of which one's better. But I will say this, I'm fucking tired of the loading screens on the PS4. The Evil Within's got 2 glaring issues. Well, 3 if you count the no reset camera function. And I know it's harking back to old school sentimentalities. Is that a word? I don't think it's a word. Sentiments or mentalities, you know what I'm trying to say. But come on, this is 2014. We're not back in the days of RE4 when it didn't have any reset from checkpoint. So basically, on this game called The Evil Within, when they're going in for the kill to kill you, and you have to sit there and just wait for it to kill you. You can't, like in this game, just quickly press restart from checkpoint. It's horrible, absolutely. There's no excuse for it, no fucking excuse. Do you know how long? Like, add up all the time you have to wait for the enemies to do their killing animations, and some of them are kind of elaborate too. So you add up all that time plus the time that you're waiting for the loading screens. I'm sorry, but it's unacceptable on the PS4. And my brother has it for the X-Bone, and I'm sure the loading times are the same. But the thing is, on the PC, I'm okay with them. They're a couple seconds shorter, and it all depends on your gaming rig, I suppose. But still, it's unacceptable on the PS4. So I'm going to be sticking with the PC version, and a couple of people have expressed interest in me doing a guide, but I told these people that, these fucking harpies, these fucking guys, man. Fucking hate these birds. Hate that. Look at my HP now. Yep, halfway gone. So annoying. But I'm giving The Evil Within the benefit of the doubt for 2 reasons. One, because it's got Debussy's Clair de Lune on it, and it's a good song, or it's a musical piece. And then secondly, it's in third person. If it was in first person, I would not even have given that game a single thought about playing it, because you all know my detestation of first person games. I mean, I wouldn't pay 1 penny for it if it was in first person. So over here, you can throw spears at the cursed wretches before you go over there. So that's what's saving that game. Just the fact that it's in third person. But I got to chapter 3 last night, and I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. And I guess that's a good thing, because how many games have you've played so much that you wish you had the ignorance that you had when you started out? The thing about turning these levers in God of War Ascension, they actually had a little circle, like semicircle, showing you the way that you're supposed to turn it so that you wouldn't turn it the wrong way the first time. I think that is really good to have that in place, but it seems it kind of takes you out of the game a little bit when you have that on there. So it's kind of a curse and a blessing. So over here, we're in the River of Lament. I'll share a small little anecdote. The first time when I was doing guide number 1 for this, when I got here, since this is the realm of King Midas, I put the Midas song on, the Midas touch in the background. I uploaded it to YouTube, and they didn't catch me because it had my voice on the video. It had the game music and that song on there, and I put it on a loop. So I can't do it this time since we've got more pressing opera on. So it's good times here. And then next week he's doing the final installment. So okay, slide down. Godly possession over here. The King's Ring. Not sure what that does. Okay, so we're gonna go over here, get these chests, and I can't remember if I published all the videos up to this point the last time, but I will tell you of one hidden area coming up. I'll just point it out. I'm not going over there, but it's one that you can easily overlook. It's on the ledge to the left. There's a item box over there. So here's a checkpoint down here. I prefer to launch myself and then throw the arrows, since these guys are high up and sometimes it doesn't connect with them. Sometimes your arrows will hit the platforms instead of the foes, and then instead of exposing yourself near the wheel and potentially getting damaged, you can throw the arrows from way back here. But regardless, there's a chest right here. So then there's another group of those guys after you kill the first set. Okay, and here we've got some standard hoplite soldiers with shields. Not bad of an enemy. Not too aggressive at all either. Then I think there's like 2 more after these guys too. But the strategy that I'm going to show you on the vortex on the ship is one that caused me to be stuck on it for like 4 hours, and I cleared it on God mode without using any magic and things like that. But after I had deleted my guide and I was enjoying watching Taz1's guide, I saw that he was standing in a neutral place on the ship, so I'm going to make sure that he gets the credit for that. Because I saw in his video that there's a couple of some pseudo, I guess he was calling them pseudo safe points, meaning that the safety is probably a little bit ambiguous at best. So the 2 safe spots that he noted, one of which is on the top left, the other is, I think he was talking about standing on the box with the magic, but the latter is not as safe. So I just wanted to mention that, because if I don't give credit, then it will look like it'll just look like I came up with it by myself, and I didn't. So look at this lovely shit. See, he falls down and I'm completely vulnerable, and then they attack me. So if you don't want to fight these guys, you don't have to at all. And I did find out when they do that slash, which is like a magical, it's a straight line area of effect on the ground. They do it right after they've been guarding a lot. That's when they do it. But they don't guard that often, so I don't think I could even demonstrate it over here. So I took a few hits over here. The battle started off in a bad way, since they attacked me the second I landed. But I made up for it with some skillful play down here. Okay. Oh, there, he did it. See? I think I was doing... Damn it. I don't know how many times you press the square button. It might be 6. I've been saying square times A combo. It might just be 6 squares. But whatever it is, after that, they tend to do that attack that you just saw. So now we're going to get an item box which has 5,000 red orbs. So it's one of these chests that I never even knew about until very recently. Okay, so now we're going to be coming up on King Midas. It's a very easy section. I did find out through my hard mode run that you don't have to deal with the second spawn of the dogs. You could simply pick them up and walk, and they'll unspawn as you walk towards the screen. So just engage in the quick time events, then you'll want to pick them up and then take a step or two and then put them down because the dogs are going to spawn. That was me trying to grab a dog, but it grabbed King Midas. So if you throw them far enough outside the cave, they will disintegrate / unspawn. See if they do it. I don't think I was trying to do it. But anyway, just engage in all the quick time events, and there will come a point where he tries to get loose of you right here. Right over here. And when you pick him up and start moving, then the dogs will spawn. But you can totally just not even have to deal with them. Watch this. See all the orbs coming into me in a second? Right there. That's the dogs unspawning right there. Anyway, so just make sure that you complete all these quick time events properly. Otherwise you have to start from the beginning when you came into the cave. I personally don't like this section. It's pretty boring. But can't do much about it. So just smash and bash. And then this quick time event, this one seems to always be circle, but don't yeah, I'm gonna stake money that it's always circle, because the circle, it was not on the right middle of the screen, it was on the right bottom, pretty much stating that it wasn't a quick time event that pops up and is on one side of the screen. Definitely, that's a weird one. So over here we're going to save our progress, and then we'll be dealing with some more of the hoplite soldiers. They might be the hoplite sentries, but we don't need to be getting into too much detail about a last name. So the furthest that these guys come will be like right over here. You can actually stand up the hill where you were, and they can't go any further than that. I don't think I demonstrated, but so sometimes you can run into a bit of unfairness when you parry the first attack of one of them and then you're trying to parry another attack right away. Sometimes it doesn't work out. Like they get in the hit too quick for the second parry to land. That's why you've got to do different kind of strategies like throwing and juggling rather than just doing straight kills. And I really like this area. It's the lead up to the. It's like, I think it's called the Nexus of Atlantis. But actually, that's not what it is. I'm not sure what it is. But up here we'll have a mandatory fight. You want to take out the archers first, because if you're going to be dealing with the others, these guys are going to be annoying you the entire time. So I will point out a little kind of a funny thing. When you when you launch an enemy on the when you launch the hoplites that are on the lower platform, and then you do the grab where it propels Kratos upwards, you can actually launch the lower enemies up to this higher platform, and they will get stuck up here, and they'll actually like flatten. You'll see them flatten. I went out of my way to have it happen just to show you what happens. And they're not supposed to be up there by the game's logic, so when they do get up there, they will not attack you. Their attack is completely turned off. And I will demonstrate how it works, because I came across it randomly, and I thought it was pretty amusing how it works. So let's see if I'll do it right over here, just to show you how it works. And then when you get up there, if you try to grab them, he'll do the air grab even if you do the ground grab. So I think I do it on this guy. So you launch, and then you grab, and then you propel them upwards, and then you'll see them flatten as they try to come over to us. They're completely non-lethal. I mean, if you go up there, they won't attack. It's like when you do the combat arena, and you take the attack off the enemy so that they can't attack. For instance, if you're just trying to grind for money to get the final godly possession at the Temple of Zeus. So here he is. They're up there, and I think I tried to mess with them, and I started to bounce them. Yeah, I was doing this. So the flattened ones do start to kind of hop. So these guys have truly become hoplites. Goddamn bouncing pieces of shit. Okay, so we'll get the chest now. I love doing that too. Okay, so you'll want to keep your Arms of Sparta on, because there are a couple of foes across the way. And if you're doing a pain plus run or a pain run where you're only allowed to use the blades, unless you're doing areas that demand that you don't. I mean, you kind of break the rules. I have gotten over to the other side without using the arrows. So what you have to do is just kind of just do exactly what I'm doing now, and then make a final jump for it, and you can't attack them until you get over to them closely. Now the way you get this is by jumping and striking the boards, but I only wanted the red orbs from the boards. Okay, so it's important to know about this next part here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to smash these boards and these vases here, because these actually will get in the way of the fight. So you want to smash those, and then smash these vases over here, as well as get the orbs, then save your progress, so that each time you die, all the orbs will be collected, and it will also save the fact that you smashed all the boards and the jugs in the arena. It is surprising. Even the chest over there can get in your way. So you can actually outrun these enemies. See, I'll just run and then double back, grab, and if there's any others coming too closely, then you need to do the dodge evade like this. So you do the dodge evade, roll back, and grab. And try to stay out of the way of the Cyclopses. Some of the birds will get caught outside of the arena in the elevator shaft. Sometimes they'll perish, sometimes they'll finally get unstuck. So we've got 2 Cyclopses. It's a rarity that one of these guys started walking the other way. Kind of amusing. So I'm not sure what causes them to do that. And I did make it. I made it as far as where did I get to? I think I got to the Geron boss fight on God difficulty. So I've done all this on God. Every time I say that, like in the back of my mind, I suspect I should be saying God hard or something from Vanquish. But you know the deal with these guys. Just sear them, ignite a charge. Be very careful of the square times. I think it's, I don't know, I think it's, you know, the square times 6. Just be careful of it because you have recovery time after the last hit. And in that time, you could easily get grabbed by them. And they take off, I think, half your life for the grab. So just cancel out of your combos as needed, or any attacks, and then that animation is the final one for these guys, and then you'll have another guy rearing up. So you have to fight two at a time for a while until you kill the last one. So you know, try to focus on the one that's weakened first if you can. I have a hard time up here kind of judging the distance when the camera is so far. Like down here, it's easy to judge the distance. He burned up because I think I neglected to do the quick time events on him, so he burned up. But I definitely prefer like staying in this area here because it's much harder when you can't see them and see how far they are, and it's very much harder to estimate how far away you need to be from their attacks. Okay, so I think we just need to do one more QTE on this guy, take him down, and definitely I'm going to recommend a save after this. Go back and save your progress for one reason. On the vortex on the ship, one time my game crashed, so I had to redo this fight. But if you save your progress right after, should anything happen, maybe power goes out or anything that could happen, you get a power surge or whatever. So even though you don't see me go back and save it, I did at some point, even though there's an edit there. So when you come down here, you're going to have a couple of comrades being attacked by the harpies. Go ahead and freely use as much magic as you want, and don't be concerned about your health. And there's no need to open the health chest because they give you a health refill once you get to the ship. I believe it's both health and magic, but I know for sure they give you all your health back. So here's the vortex fight. This could be extremely difficult. You want to be depending on the iframes from all the throws here. These guys, every one of their leaping attacks will break your guard. The attacks that are just their quick little jabs, those don't break your guard. You can just block against them. I would not kill your comrades here because even though they're kind of pathetic, they do yield HP. So kill them, if you need HP, but let them distract the enemies. They don't distract the enemies as well as the little girl did in God of War 3. I forget her name now. Pandora, I think her name was. Yeah, Pandora's box. So they're not that much of a help, but they still are a help, and this is difficult here. So the little neutrality, the neutral spots on the upper left, and the guy who's, I don't know what that is, the oar or whatever, the guy who's steering the ship over to the left, you can't grab him. He will get killed in the cutscene. I personally think there should be a checkpoint over here in between these two phases. So here I had to take out a guy because they were all caught in a group and I couldn't. You will hear the guy. There's two guys. When you slay one of the guys that's on your team, the other one will say, what the hell does he say? We can't take all these guys on by ourselves or something like that. So that's what it says when you kill one, and then there's one that I left. So jump and grab for these harpies. They're programmed to grab you on the ground, so you have iframes from their grab if you're in the air, just like we had iframes from the lion's roar earlier in the game via the Piraeus lion, because they're programmed to do a ground-based QTE against you. But when the lightning starts to happen, you can either, spam magic. I could have, this is the run that permits me to use magic, so I could have spam magic, but it's basically a time sequence, a survival sequence. It doesn't matter that you kill all the enemies, you won't be able to. You just need to make sure that you survive, and you don't get many hits here. I think 3 hits and you're dead from these enemies. I mean, one grab from the harpies, it takes like half your damn life off here. So just make sure that these enemies aren't jumping at you from off the camera. And then once you get the scene where the helmsman is killed by the lightning, go over to where he was, stay in the upper left. And the lightning does not hit in this area, and enemies seem far less disposed to even take a hit at you. The harpies might grab you. See, they do these little jabs, but that's about it. I think all you have to do here is just guard. But if you see any harpies coming towards you, make sure you at least try to jump to give yourself those iframes from their grab. But this was the first time I ever tested this out, so you'll see the lightning it's just going to kill. It's indiscriminate, which is nice because it will kill the other enemies. It will even give you some HP, it looks like, unless that's magic coming into me. But this is completely unfair because you've got the AoEs all over the place. You've got harpies running around crazily, and you've got the Triton lords, which these guys are, hitting you from off screen. So having a neutrality spot is very good. And like I said earlier, I think you can stand on the chest, but why not just stand over here if this is a lot better? So this is how long you have to survive if you're out on the other spots. And admittedly, you can do it by whoring the iframes from all the grabs, but sometimes these harpies will just grab you and it's not really fair. But that's the end of the fight and the end of the video. So I hope it helped you, and I will see you in the next installment. Take care.